start with congratulations. I did not know what really went on what really went on behind the scenes, and I felt like I learned a lot. And I thought Ron did a great job with this material. I have a lot of questions about the film. I like throwing some curveballs at the beginning to have a little bit of more. I don't know what the hell I do at the beginning, but here we go. So for all three of you, if someone has actually never seen anything you've done before, what is the first thing you want them watching and why?
Father Ted, because I just think it's brilliant. Have you ever seen Father Ted, the television show, Irish television show? I'm not in it, but
I meant stuff that you've been in.
That's for Tom.
Not a bit, man. So what would you'd want them?
If someone has never seen any of your work before, what is the first thing they should watch and why?
I'd say one film that came to mind, and then I would say after, I'd say it gets better after that, but I won't say what that film is because that'd be too mean. Because too many people.
That's an amazing.
Have you got
an answer for that? I do. Do you know what? No, man, you can't. Can you? You just get absolutely crucified. Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say this film because
exactly.
I don't think I've ever felt as proud to be a part of something as I do with this movie. And if people watch nothing else of mine, they'd have a really thanks, man. I took the plunge. And Father Ted.
Of course. So I thought Ron did such a good job with this, and I felt like he didn't Hollywoodize anything. I felt like he almost shot this like a documentary. Can you sort of talk about the aesthetic that Ron chose to tell this story and why it worked so well, in my opinion?
He was always there, wasn't he? Wasn't he always?
Yes.
He was always in here. He was always kind of close to your face or close to one of the kids, or he was moving seemingly frantically, but with great calm within that kind of dynamic energy he has all over the set. And he was always looking for angles, and he was always looking to get to the center of the story and not view it as an outsider. I think he wanted to subjectify the audience to the tension as much as he could, as filmmakers often do, but he really wanted to, and he thought it was really imperative that he would, subjectify the audience to all the danger and the threat and the panic and the pandemonium and all that, which is why he had us do as much of the diving as he had us do, which is why he covered as much of the stuff underwater as he did. And I think he had look, he's become something, of course, as a documentarian between Rebuilding Paradise, the Pavarotti and other things that he's done. And so he was really adamant that we could get in and tell the story with as little emotional kind of ribboning as possible. He thought the film didn't need that. He thought the event was so extravagant. The decency of the people that were there was so hard-boiled. It was a hard-boiled decency. It was a practical decency. It was love in action. Without words, without niceties, without any tenderness or gentility. He eschewed those moments, and he could have put them in justifiably, but he wasn't interested in them. He was interested in people coming together for the one reason that the Thai people and the British and the Americans and the Australians and everyone came together to save these boys, So it felt very verite in that way.
Yeah. Also, the attention to detail with which he applied his eye to every single part of this was incredible. And just speaking from like my own experience, I remember this, he really wanted us to straight away get training with the stuff we were doing, know our kit, because it's this thing, these guys, their kit, they build it themselves, they modify it themselves, they have this relation, they don't even need to look, and they know where their clips are. And that attention to detail, it was so that we didn't have to do any acting, I guess, because he just wanted to, like Colin said, the story is so beautiful. You don't want to emote on emotion. It's such a powerful story. You could just sit and watch the news of it again. But in telling the story, what he wanted to do was be so strict with it, but allow that heartbeat to really just sort of just sit quietly and allow an audience to find these people themselves. And I think he did a really amazing job of it.
It is amazing you said that, because I read a review yesterday where someone commented and said that it's just like The Rescue. It's just like the documentary. But I think that's where the beauty is, because it's just like the real thing, except with actors. And it was dramatic without the melodrama. I love the part in the beginning where you say, "Shall we go to Thailand?" And boom, you're in Thailand.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to the airport and hug your kids and, have a last meal or whatever. It's just beautiful.
I love learning about the behind the scenes of the making of a film. And in this one, I would imagine you guys all learned stuff about the rescue that you had no idea happened. What were some of the things that really surprised you that you learned that you'd like to maybe share?
My favorite part of this rescue, I remember reading it in the script and not knowing it. I never heard about it in the news, and then I forgot because I wasn't in the scenes filming, and watching it again in the cinema made me just full on cry. Was the farmers who sacrificed their land to be flooded. Because it's also even, they don't even, and again, Ron just did it so delicately, and there wasn't a big scene around it. It was just, these are the stakes. Yes, we will do it. And the selflessness. I could just watch a movie about them. I get emotional even thinking about it. I think it encapsulates everything we've learned about the Thai culture, about we will just do this and we don't ask questions, take it. I thought it was stunning, and it's one of my favorite moments in the whole film.
Colin and Tom, you guys obviously had to do some serious water work. And I'm just curious, which of the actors on set was having too much fun, and which of the actors was ready to get out the second Ron called cut?
Oh, who's having? I think that I was going to say the safety divers were having too much fun, but maybe they were actually bored out of their brains more than anything. Although they did seem to be doing pranks on each other, when we weren't looking. I think it was an easy day's work for them guys, but Jesus, the responsibility they had to keep eyes on us at all times, because we had the tunnels that they built. Some of them were like 100 feet long, and they were 360 degrees. I mean, they were total cave systems. But they had holes in the side of the tunnel. The holes were about 3 foot by about 2.5, 3 feet. And they had various hole panels that you could pull out so that the safety divers could swim alongside the cave and they could watch us at certain moments. And I asked one of the safety divers, I said, what's how many films have you done with water stunts? And he said, oh man, I've done so many, maybe 20 or so. And I said, well, out of all the ones you've done, which was the most dangerous? Like, which was the one you felt was the most? And he went, I said, you're joking me. And he said, no. He said, look, it's okay, but there is a moment when we leave you, and we've all talked about it, when we leave you at one panel and we meet you 8 feet later at the next panel, where if something goes wrong in that moment, we might be in a spot of bother. And I was like, fuck that.
And action, Colin, you're in the water.
Yeah. Actors to first position.
Yeah.
Taxi for Farrell.
Good.
So that was kind of nerve-wracking.
Do you know who
I was out of the water. So I'll say me out of the water pretty quick. When we finished that last dive, man, Steve, it was the last day and we finished that last dive, I was so relieved that nothing bad had happened, because it was really safe and it was very controlled. But it was also, the water got dirty over time. There was electrical cables. There was a cameraman holding his camera. There was lights. There was 4 actors, and we were all and then they had someone, as Tom, you reminded me, I forgot that they had guys with 2 fans that would blow the water so it'd come. So you'd have to grab to stop. I mean, it was weird, man. And we were all on a crash course. None of us had done this before we started. So yeah, it was very extreme. It was an amazing experience, really, to be honest with you. It was incredible.
I tell you who loved it most, Vigo.
He did.
You can get that dude out, and
no, he did. In fairness,
to the extent that so we'd have in the set, in the tunnels, there'd be cables, the guideline that the divers would use, and they'd come loose because we were tugging on them all day. We were doing these stunts, and they'd come loose, and we had crew to go and say, oh, that's loosened up, we'll go tie it off. Vigo just be in there doing it. He wanted to do it all. He'd be constantly under the water. I remember once he turned to me, he said, do you want to come with me? I'm going to go and sort that line out. And I said, no, I'm going to have a cup of tea and a biscuit, man. You go do that. I'm going to chill on the beach for a second. But he loved it, and he was in it every second.
It was actually his fault. We did probably would have done 15% less diving if Vigo hadn't been so adamant that we should all just be there. God bless him. Piper. We all followed his lead.
Thanks, Vigo.
On that note, I need to stop. I'm just going to say congrats on the movie, and I hope a ton of people watch it. Thank you so much for your time. Nice to see you.
Thanks, Steve. See you soon, man.